UC Berkeley, a woman holds her two daughters as she tries to rush through the screaming crowd of masked Antifa members that are screaming at every attendee who leaves tonight's event. What is this? It was crazy? Uh-huh. There's more footage? Jesus. And where was this? Berkeley. Oh, boy. Jesus. Think about how much of our tax money we have to put and invest into micromanaging these mentally ill retards every day. Look how much money it is. Isn't that crazy? Why are they wearing masks? It's bad when ICE does it, right? Because they don't want to be identified. That's the reason why. Same reason why ICE wears them. That's why people wear masks, is so they don't get identified.
Nazi school! Nazi school!
Exactly what I would expect. Uh-huh. Man. How are they not in jail? Well, I mean, to be fair, nobody's doing anything wrong right now.
Peter Thiel's dick, you asshole!
What?
Peter Thiel's dick, you asshole!
What the fuck? Who does this?
Jesus loves you, man.
Jesus. Well, eventually right-wing people will start doing this to left-wing people too. And that's going to be pretty bad. You know, again, these people, they think that they are completely justified in doing this. And whenever this happens, this is literally your viewer. Maybe it was. It sounds like something that I would say, to be fair. They need to call ICE on that crowd? Well, no, these are just random-ass people, right? Can't wait for it. Yeah, it's intimidation with the intent to terrorize is terrorism. They need to be arrested. Well, I don't know about that, but I think that it does say a lot if you need to have police there to protect people, because they would be violent if they had the opportunity to. In my opinion, like, I know this might sound kind of bad, but if I was the people running this, I would just simply let some violence occur, and then I would just arrest everybody that was doing it. That's what I would do. And like, you might say, oh yeah, but somebody might get hurt. Yeah, that's true, but it'll be for a greater good. It'll be for a greater good. Yeah, you got to arrest these people, because the only reason why they're not being violent is because the police are there that are stopping them from doing it, okay? And that's it. That's why you need to be violent back. I agree with you about that. I think that if somebody is violent to you, you have every right to be violent back. You do. You have every right to be violent back. Like, if somebody hits you, you have the right to do whatever you want to them. Nobody should have to live in a world where they're violently abused. It doesn't matter what it is or anything like that. That looks pretty violent. Well, yelling is different than actually touching, right? That's what I would say. Defend yourself. And yeah, it's that simple. It's the same thing happening in Texas. Do you think we're heading towards civil war? No, I don't think so. I think the handful of people that do this is really an underestimation. I think that most people that see this, you know, you have like a couple hundred people that come out for an event and you act like you're going to have a civil war. I don't really think that's the case at all. It's not, yeah, it's not even remotely close. Like, a lot of these like really fringe extreme political beliefs, and this goes on both sides, they're quite common, but they're not enough to where it's like there's going to be an actual war fought over this. And also, really, the difference, we're never going to have another civil war, because the military, unless the military gets divided, the difference between, so whenever you looked at, let me go ahead and explain why we're never going to have another civil war, okay? So this is the let's say the Revolutionary War, right? So the Revolutionary War, let's say the red was the, you know, that was the Americans. Actually, well, no, I guess actually that's probably a bad way to say it, because the redcoats. Okay, so let's say the red was the British, okay? And then these are like, let's say, power levels, okay? Yeah, okay. So this is a Revolutionary War. And this is the power level compared to like the British versus the Americans, right? So the British are stronger, but the Americans still have a reasonable force, okay? You can see that as well. And then you go and you look at, let's say, the Civil War, okay? So the Civil War was about the same thing, where the Union obviously had different federal advantages that the Confederacy did not have. But the Confederacy still had a chance in winning. A civil war now, unless you have the fractured military, it would be like this. It's not even remotely close. The government has powers and weapons and tools and resources that people cannot even dream of. You don't, there's never going to be another civil war. You can't fight the military. Yeah, they've got space lasers. They've got satellites that are orbiting the Earth that can figure out where you are. Like, it would be over in like a week, if that. Yeah, everyone has guns, every man for himself. It doesn't matter. Everybody has guns. Do you really think that you having a gun is going to stop? Like, what do you think happens when a bunch of armed guys that are trained, and also they're not going to be breaking into a house, just because you have a gun? Like, this doesn't mean that you're going to just somehow fight off, a trained military. You're going to be done, man. It doesn't work like that. Military doesn't shoot people. Of course they do. Absolutely they would. No, if we had a civil war, the military would be shooting people constantly. But do you really think that, oh, well, no, it says that you're not supposed to do that? Yeah, it's a war. What the hell do you expect? Yeah, there'll be factions, of course, if there's a threat. Yeah, exactly. And not citizens, though. I think that if a civil war broke out, the military would be shooting civilians instantaneously. It would not even take a day. It would not even take a day. The moment that you had civilians shooting at the military or doing anything to oppose them, they would start shooting them instantly. That's it. I don't know. Yeah, go stop attack. What are you going to do, right? And they're not going to nuke American cities? Of course not. No, why would they need to use a nuke? Obviously not. So yeah, I don't know what's wrong with these people. And let's see if I can find a UK Berkeley. I'll see if there's any more videos of this. I don't really think that there's a whole lot more of them. So yeah, is there any more of these posts here? People crying? Oh, hey, here we go. Okay. Oh, damn. Damn. Look at him. Look at him go. What is he doing? What is he doing? Oh, my God. Look at this guy. Oh, fuck. And terrorism always maintain the status quo in a country would be deemed expendable? Yeah, of course. You're underestimating the power of guerrilla warfare. I think that you're underestimating the power of technology. Oh, geez. Yeah, I mean, again, I think they've got to be on top of these people a lot faster. Stop going full retard? Yeah, they got to be on top. Because the moment that you let this happen... Oh, is this another one? Oh, my God.
Break it up! Break it up! Police! Break it up! Police! Break it up! Break it up!
It's going to be crazy whenever people start bringing guns to these things. Because it's going to happen. It's going to happen. People will eventually start bringing knives and guns to these events. And I think that the only places, like, I bet probably this kind of stuff will probably not happen as much in right to carry and concealed carry states. I've just got a feeling that it probably won't happen as often. And I wonder why. How technology help in Afghanistan or Iraq? Well, it helped us stay there for 20 years. That way we could maximize the most efficient way for us to sap and steal enough money from the taxpayers to reallocate it to the military-industrial complex and the amount of people that were there. Do you really think that we couldn't have won that war in like a year? Fuck no, of course we could have. The reason why it happened is because we didn't try to win. We weren't trying to win the war. We were trying to win the hearts and the minds of the people. You're not going to win the hearts and the minds of the people whenever you're occupying their country. Let's get the fuck out of there. Bomb them and then leave. Vietnam. Yeah, Vietnam total thing. Yeah, it's the same thing in Vietnam. We were trying to help the South Vietnamese fight back against the North Vietnamese. Oh, God. Oh. Oh. People do this because they don't go to jail for it. That's the reason why it happens. And I think that really, why are you so against military-industrial complex? Make it sound like such a waste of money. What I understand, it brings USA astronomical earnings. Yeah, we make a lot of money from the military, but we also spend a lot of money on the military, right? It's like a human centipede. And also, it's because, I don't know if I can really show the blood. Yeah. Oh. See, the problem is, like, somebody like this should go to, like, in my opinion, I think you just put a person like this in jail for 10 years. That's it. You just put them in jail for 10 years. And then the problem goes away. And I feel like the reason why this happens is that 15, yeah, sure. I mean, right? I mean, whatever you want to say. He'll be out the same day. Yeah, the reason why this happens is because people like this are able to do it and get away with it. And if they knew that they were going to get shot, if they knew they were going to go to prison, if they knew that they would experience dramatic, serious consequences, they would never even dream of doing something like this. The reason why they do it is because they know that they can get away with it. And I feel like I say this a lot, but really, cooler heads prevail whenever there is a set of authority that holds people to accountability. You'll always have that happen. Yep.
Do you want to tell us what happened?
Oh. Yep, that's what it is. And what found us, the dude with the red shirt said something antagonizing or racist to the person, so he pushed back. Well, if you antagonize or you say something racist and then somebody hits you, the person that hits you should go to jail. You don't get to just hit people because they say something that makes you mad. That's not what happens. That's not how it works. Like, yeah, that's not the way the world works. Look at them, bro. They're feral. Jesus. Oh. They're wild animals. You pussy? No, I'm not a pussy. I mean, again, if you think that's a good way of doing things, then just expect that whenever somebody feels like it, they're just going to shoot you. The problem with a lot of people that like the idea of violence don't understand violence. So I do. I've seen a lot of it secondhand. And I've seen some of it first. I've seen the effects of it firsthand. My dad had to live his entire life on painkillers because he got in fights. He couldn't move his neck in certain ways. He had all kinds of different issues. He was constantly in pain for his whole life. And also, like, I went to a school where people ended up, like getting killed. Whenever, like, let's say you get in a fight, right? You get in a fight with somebody, it's like one-on-one. You get in a fight. Well, then that person is going to come back with their friends, and then they're going to really beat you up. And then what happens after that? Well, then the next time that person and his friends pull up, you bring a gun and then you shoot them and then they die. That's what happens. So the problem with violence is that it has a propensity to escalate very, very quickly. And even if you win the war, even if you win the battle, you might not necessarily win the war. And so that's what happens. And at classic escalation, yeah, it's called getting back. Exactly. And it just keeps escalating. And check him out his message. I don't want to look at it. And protesting an event for a guy that got killed by violence from their side, I would expect physical response. Remember the emotions Charlie Kirk got murdered? The right was on the verge of returning in the same way? Yeah, and I think that's what happened. The people cheered when Charlie died? Well, they would. But what I'm saying is that the reason why this is allowed to happen is because the violence is very one-sided. The moment that you actually let people start fighting, you're going to see everybody that's freaking out. Like, if you actually let these people fight each other, it would be absolute chaos and people would be terrified because you'd see people dying constantly. It would be horrible. And the point that I'm making is that when you allow violence and you allow like a big group of people to be aggressive and to, push this aggression onto other people, what you're doing is you're beginning that cycle of violence. And whenever you begin that cycle of violence, the conclusion of it is death. That is the conclusion, because somebody will eventually bring a gun, somebody will eventually use a weapon, and somebody will eventually die. And then after that happens, now it's just trading that back and forth. So they're so aggressive. Yes, they are. And that's what happens. So you never, ever, ever want to have anything turn violent, because as soon as things turn violent, people die. It's that simple. You don't even need to bring a gun? Well, I don't know. They get so emotionally offended when they lose a fight, use guns later. That's definitely a go to a mental institute. No, it's not. Why? I mean, like, and here's the mindset, right? So somebody beats you up with their friends. Why wouldn't you want to kill them? Really? Why? Like, let's say you're a psychopath. Why wouldn't you want to just go kill that person? If you thought that you could get away with it, why wouldn't you just go kill them? That's the way that we've done things for thousands of years. What do you think happened for the last 5,000 years? What, like, are you guys crazy? Yeah, because you won't get away with it. Exactly. That's my whole point. That's the reason why you need to have accountability. The reason why they don't do it is because there is a tremendous and extreme consequence. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Yeah, this is just what it is. People did for far less. Exactly. Yeah, you don't need to be a psycho to want that. Sure, people live in a bubble. They forget how bad it could get. Yes, it's just people are so delusional. It's sad. It really is. I think that people live in such a padded world that they don't realize how fast it can turn bad. It'll take no time at all. Oh. Look what happened with ISIS? Yeah, they don't understand how bad it would have been? Absolutely. Yeah, the big issue is the violence. Protesting is fine. I don't really think this is a big deal, but the violence has to stop. A melee broke out between militants. Okay, let's see. Let's see how this started.
It is not enough to say fuck fascism when we don't tell why we need it.
See, this guy's taking their stuff. He's throwing their stuff around.
Okay, and this is it.
Guys, that's exactly what they want. That's exactly what they want.
Oh, it didn't even show it. Yeah, it didn't even show how it started, so it's hard to say. But either way, look at these freaks. Yeah, I guess so. These people never watch Live Leak and people getting pink misted by jihadists and shit. Yeah, I know, and it's sad to see. But yeah, I see something like this happen, and it's really not that big of a surprise. I think that to the extent that you let stuff like this happen, it will happen, and it will just keep getting worse. So yeah.